Hi, today's story is Love Letters in a Locker. For as long as she could remember, Emma Harper had been invisible. Not in the literal sense, of course, but in the way that mattered. She wasn't the star athlete, the class clown, or the straight-A student. She was just Emma. Quiet, bookish, the girl people rarely noticed. That's why, when she found the first letter in her locker, she thought it had to be a mistake. It was an ordinary Tuesday morning when Emma pulled open her locker and saw a folded piece of paper sitting on top of her books. Frowning, she picked it up, her heart already beating a little faster. Dear Emma, you don't know me, but I know you. I see you in the library, lost in your books. I hear your laugh in the hallway, even when you think no one is listening. And I think you're amazing. No name, no clue who it was from. Just those simple words, handwritten on lined paper. Emma's hands trembled as she read it again. This had to be a joke. Someone was messing with her, right? But then there was a second letter, and a third. Each one carefully placed inside her locker when no one was looking. Each one filled with words that made her heart race. You don't realize how incredible you are. You light up a room, even when you don't see it. I wish I had the courage to tell you this in person. Emma didn't know what to think. No one had ever looked at her like this before, let alone written love letters. She started watching people more closely, searching for the smallest clue. Was it someone in her English class? A secret admirer from the library? And then, one day she noticed something. Across the hallway, Noah Carter, star of the basketball team, school heartthrob, and, completely out of her league, was looking at her. Not in the casual, passing way most people did, but really looking. And that's when it clicked. Emma wasn't sure if she was ready to know the truth, but she couldn't ignore it anymore. So one afternoon, she did something completely unlike her. She took one of the letters, scribbled a note at the bottom, and slipped it back into her locker for him to find. If you really mean all of this, meet me after school by the oak tree. The hours crawled by. She spent the entire day convincing herself that she was wrong, that no one would show up, that this had been a mistake. But when she walked to the oak tree that afternoon, Noah was already there. He looked nervous, hands stuffed in his pockets, but when he saw her, he smiled. "Hi," he said softly. Emma swallowed hard. "It was you, wasn't it?" Noah nodded, exhaling. "Yeah, it was me." Her mind raced with 1,000 questions. "Why?" "You probably think this is some kind of joke," he said quickly, "but it's not. I meant every word." Emma stared at him, searching for any sign of deception, but there was none. You," she whispered. "You could have anyone." Noah gave a small laugh, shaking his head. "And I wanted you." Her breath caught. "I've liked you for a long time, Emma," he admitted. "But you never noticed me. So I thought, maybe if I wrote it down, you'd finally see what I see." Tears pricked at her eyes. No one had ever made her feel this way before, like she was someone worth noticing. She took a shaky step forward. "I see you now." Noah smiled, and in that moment, Emma knew this was real. The love letters in her locker weren't just words. They were the beginning of something more. The end.